Today's topic, we are talking about progress and why it feels slow sometimes, and what how we can encourage the students and encourage our kids to keep going even when progress is slow or not even visible at all. But no doubt you guys have heard your kids, and I know I'm the same. They've said, why am I not getting better at this, or I'm slow, or I'm not very good, or I'm not getting any better. And definitely that sometimes is the case, that progress is slow or invisible. It's invisible, it's below the surface. But a lot of that is stuff that's happening within the body or within the brain that's developing to sort of set us up for this growth. But it's kind of like when your kid doesn't grow for ages and they're eating heaps of food, eating heaps, they chunk out a bit and then they just go poof, and then they grow. Learning and skill development is a lot like that as well. There's a lot of stuff happening in the brain and the body, and then that growth just comes, or something just clicks, and away we go. Now that's obviously hard, because the kids want instant results. They just want to show up to class and get better. And it's our job as educators and as parents is to tell them it's not as easy as that. It doesn't just showing up. Showing up is part of the deal, part of the battle, but it's not everything. But as parents, sometimes we see that the kids are training hard, they are putting in the work, they are doing what they need to at home, but it's still not clicking. And I know that can be frustrating from our side as well. So I'm going to give a few tips and stuff today, and explanations, I suppose, as to how we can help and support that. So some people know my background is in exercise physiology, so I've done work with kids in skill development in rugby league and football, and lots of stuff to do with health and exercise and skill development. I actually did my honours project in sort of a skill development based thing. So it's kind of an interest area for me. But what I want to encourage you is that your child is progressing, and you just can't see it yet. And what we've got to do is help bring that to the surface. So there's three kind of phases that learning comes in, and we can explain it quite simply with absorb, wire, and then pop. And I think that sounds sort of fun. So the first phase, which is absorb, the kids are watching, they're copying, and they're making mistakes just because they can't do it. It's just like any skill. You pick up a guitar for the first time, you're going to sound like trash, unless you're some enigma of some sort. But they are learning. We're starting to build those initial pathways in the brain and into the body and the muscles. The second is where we wire it, and literally the body works like electrical wires. There's motor neurons in the brain, and they all connect to each other, connect to the muscles and the pathways and so on. So we need to wire those new pathways to build those new skills. And it happens quite quickly at first, and that's why we get those what we call newbie gains. Is you get better really quickly first, and then it sort of plateaus off, and then the progress looks quite slow, and then it pops, and then basically you just get it, and you're like, cool, this is easy, and it's replicable, and it just flows out of there. So when we're first learning a hand drill, for example, it's really really jerky, and you're like, oh, which hand do I do? But you're getting better, you're wiring the brain as long as we're practicing properly, and all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, this is a piece of cake, I'm all good. So that's kind of the three phases. So absorb, wire, and then pop. So basically what I want to encourage you to say to your kids is to basically say to them, even when it feels like nothing's changing, your brain is working hard behind the scenes, and then when this moment happens, and then it just goes, basically, then it pops from there. But just tell them it's happening, and just encourage them to stick at it. And a topic I'm going to talk about in future weeks is why progress. I'm jumbling my words today. Why progress is faster for some kids than others, and what we can do about that. And we're talking about the comparison game, and I really don't want you to get into that. So again, give you some ideas to talk about that. So here's what you can do to help as a parent. We want small actions, and we want big support. That's the main two things I want you to take away. Normalize the slowness, let them know it's meant to feel a bit hard. The thing that we always say, if getting a black belt was easy, everyone would have one. And you look around in class and there's not a huge number of black belts, or maybe there is a big number of black belts, but compare that to all the students who've ever started martial arts, there really isn't that many. Same thing. You go to a marathon festival, for example, and you're like, holy cow, there's like 5,000 people running this marathon. But you go, yeah, but compared to the number of people in the whole country and the whole world, it's actually not that many. So things that are hard aren't done by many people. So normalize that. Struggling isn't failing, it's learning. And I've got another video that I'll put up on the socials at a certain point. Failure, F-A-I-L, first attempt in learning. It's normal. We want to encourage that. Instead of that, we want to focus on the habits, not the outcomes, or the process, not the outcomes. So instead of did you win today, or did you win the sparring, or did you smash that other kid? Did you try your best? Did you stick with it when it was tricky? Did you try practicing that skill that maybe you're not particularly good at, or did you practice kicking with the other leg? Everyone's really good on using their normal leg, but when we do the other side, it's obviously a little bit harder. So encourage them to do it that way. little bursts at home is super beneficial. 5 minutes of practice, interspersed throughout the day or throughout the week. 5 minutes every day will beat doing 1 hour once a week, guarantee. Yeah, so they come to class, they do their hour at class, and then 5 to 10 minutes a few days a week will be amazing for them. And there's lots of little skills and drills that you can do. Currently doing this with Elsie. She's grading for her Mighty Black hopefully next month. She's got to do her hand drills, her kickboxing drills. She kicks the pads. We've got a little kick bag set up in the garage. And I've given her another little exercise doing these kicks on the couch where she's got to lift up, do a side kick, and be nice and balanced. And just go do 5 or 10 on each leg, and it takes like 3 minutes. But it's that little bit that's, again, helping to wire those pathways, so it's super beneficial. And then we want to celebrate the invisible wins. So celebrate confidence, celebrate trying again, celebrate not giving up, celebrate showing up, celebrate consistency. These are the big things. And if we can celebrate those things, then we're going to build those habits irregardless of the outcomes. But the outcomes will come from those habits. So that's pretty much it for today in terms of that skill development and that progress. I just wanted to give us something for the adults as well. Sometimes we expect our kids to be patient while we're being impatient, with our own growth. So, remind yourself that progress isn't supposed to be fast. It's supposed to feel earned. If it was easy, you'd be like, I didn't really earn this. Yeah, we want to feel like we've earned something. If you're working on anything, whether it's fitness, a hobby, parenting, musical instrument, something like that, you're going to go through these phases as well. Whether you're learning, again, a musical instrument, how to do a cryptic crossword. I'm trying to learn how to do cryptic crosswords at the moment. Cryptic crosswords, Sudokus, anything like that. It just takes time, and eventually it'll click and it'll be all good from there. So be kind to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Sometimes we have the tendency to be perfectionists. And that's not to say don't expect high standards or don't push yourself, but be kind to yourself in the same. And just say, I'm learning, I'm progressing, and I'm working. And just because you're not there yet doesn't mean that you're not getting there. So I guess that's a little takeaway for today. Just because you're not there yet doesn't mean that you're not getting there. Yep. So that's it for today. Progress, it's a quiet builder. If your child is showing up, they're training hard at home, they're doing their practice, they're asking for help, they're doing all the things that they need to do, they are making slow progress. Okay, that's the heart of the learning. They're making those wires, and eventually it will pop. Trust us. Go with the system. As long as they're putting in the work, as long as you are supporting them, they will get there. So with that done, that is it for today. I'm looking forward to getting back to see Norman Park. It seems like every day, every Thursday I go to Norman Park, it's raining. I don't know what it is. Maybe they don't like me. I don't know. But looking forward to seeing those guys today. Alex Hill's on Saturday, and I'll be back to Inaugura on Monday. And obviously everyone else who I don't see on the regular, grading is coming up next month. So I do hope to see you there. In the 18th of May out at Springfield and the 25th at Kapala Bar. So we'll have more details coming shortly for that. But otherwise, keep training, keep working hard. And if you're watching if you're watching, give me a cup of coffee, give me a donut in the comments, and I will see you guys at class super soon. All right, take care. Bye.